Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I see where our numbers are creeping up here a little bit, so I gave it a few minutes before we got started. But for those of you that are already here and signed in and ready to go, we will get started. First things first, I have a few things I want to go over. First of all, what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of an introduction, myself and my co-presenter, Jocelyn DeZiel. Just give you a little bit of idea of who we are and who's on the other side of the camera here speaking to you this afternoon. Before I do that, though, I'd like to really thank everybody for taking the time out of your day. I know everybody's very busy these days and have lots on the go. We weren't really sure actually the best time to do this, so hopefully this was an okay time for everybody. We're trying to catch the night shift workers that were hopefully awake at this point to catch it. And if afterwards you have any suggestions of a better time, feel free to let us know via email afterwards. But thank you all to all of you for being here, and we'll get started. So as you know, this is our experienced officer information session. So as one of the sergeants here in the Surrey Police Service recruiting section, I've been here for, my name is Cindy Vance, sorry, and I've been here for just past 2 years. I came to SPS on June 12th of 2023. Prior to working with SPS, I was with the Vancouver Police Department. So I had the honor of working as a VPD member for just about 29 years. Retired, and I was in a great opportunity to be able to retire, start collecting my pension, and then come work here in Surrey. As I always say, I was ready to start collecting my pension, but I wasn't quite ready to stop doing this work. And so the opportunity, as we all know, timing is everything. So the opportunity to come here to Surrey was presented, and I can honestly say it was the best decision that I've ever made. I will also say it wasn't the easiest decision, and for those of you who may be in a similar situation yourselves, we all have lots of loyalties, and we may have been in our agencies for a long time or a short time, and considering moving to another agency is not an easy decision necessarily. And for myself, having recently having worked in recruiting in Vancouver, I think it was some ways even more difficult because that was my job, was to promote and speak about and bleed VPD blue, to be honest. But honestly, I'm so pleased that I did that. Prior to coming here, like I said, I did about 29 years with Vancouver. I was able to work a third of my career in frontline, so patrol, worked all 4 districts of Vancouver. I was on the bikes, did lots of protests and parades and those things on the bikes. I worked as a firearms instructor at the Force Options Training Unit, school liaison. I did surveillance. I worked for Strike Force for three and a half years, the school liaison unit. Got promoted about 9 years ago. And got the lovely position of being in PSS, and then went to HR, and then ended up in recruiting. So that's where I retired from and moved over to the recruiting section here in Surrey. And here we are today. So enough about me. I'll pass it over to Constable DeZiel.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's great to have people coming here and inquiring about the Surrey Police Service. Just to give you a little bit about me, I've been a police officer 25 years. I did 24 years in the city of Vancouver with the Vancouver Police Service, and I enjoyed my career there. I worked in all the districts, did some undercover work, drug squad. I was a negotiator for 4 years, worked school liaison, patrol, and most of my experience has been with operations. So I came here in September of 2024 last year, so coming up to 1 year, and it's been a great decision. I've really enjoyed working here. I didn't leave Vancouver because I was unhappy. I was just looking for something different, something a bit more challenging, and something I could put my fingerprint on. So I came here to Surrey in the recruiting section, and I'm on the experienced officer side. And obviously, Cindy's my boss, and so I'm looking forward to a long career here, and looking for opportunity to hire a lot of wonderful people. So thanks so much. Back to you, Cindy.
Okay, so a few housekeeping items. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Teams. You might notice, if you are, that there are a few functionalities that aren't accessible to you. So the biggest thing for us, beyond getting you folks the information, that you're hopefully looking for. We really wanted to make sure that we kept this as confidential as possible for you. We all get it. We've all been in your shoes. We've been in a position to be somewhere, another agency, and thinking about possibly going to SPS and not wanting that to be outed in that way. So we realized that, and we've made sure that we've taken all of the precautions that your identity will be kept confidential. As you can see on the screen, your names are not they're not displayed. You're just showing as an attendee. Now, in order to continue with that anonymity, we've placed some limitations on the options on your Teams platform. So we've disabled the chat, but we are able to use the Q&A function. So for the Q&A function, also, and if you don't have that, I'm not sure as well who has what functions on their platforms. So if you don't see the Q&A function, you still can ask questions. You just need to use the putting your hand up tool, and our moderators, who are also recruiting members, will be able to see your questions and address them that way, and then unmute you so that you can ask the question, and then we can answer them as we go. The other part of that is, if you're going to use the Q&A function and send in a question, like type in a question, just please remember, if you don't want your name displayed, to press that to keep it post anonymously button, so that your name isn't put on your question. It will show up if you do not push the post anonymously button before you submit your question to the Q&A. So I don't see any hands up, so I'm hoping that everybody, that makes sense to everybody. Again, it's all about keeping your identity confidential. Having said that, we want to make sure we can be here and actually be useful in the sense of answering questions. Speaking of questions, we would prefer, if possible, to hold your questions till the end of the session. We have a time there for Q&A. So we will answer as many questions as we need to answer at that point, just to keep the presentation flowing and people being able to actually get the advantage of hearing the questions and hearing the answers. If you ask them sort of just on the Q&A, not everybody might see it, and they might miss the answer themselves. So just a couple things that way. Everybody at the same time is able to put in a question to Q&A. So if you find it's a pressing question, go ahead and ask it, and we may just have the moderators answer it, or they might send it to us and we'll answer it as we're talking. I think that's pretty much it for that part. In that case, we will get going and start the presentation. So the first part I want to talk about today is there we go. Is just talk about where we're at today with SPS, and then the next steps in our process. So right now, and I feel like there's probably a lot of misinformation out there, so thank you all again for being here to get the actual correct information. We currently have 551 sworn members. So that's how many people we've hired since the start. Our need in order to complete the transition, the initial transition, is 785. So as you know, we need a fair number still to hire, but having said that, we've hired a lot already. So contrary to any other information that might be out there, we are hiring, we're meeting all our quotas, people are applying, and we are up to that number, which I think is pretty phenomenal with all that's been going on. So 551 sworn members. Of course, we also have civilian professionals, and we've hired 473 of those, many of which did come over from Surrey RCMP. But others have also been hired in addition to that. So we have a total of 1,024 people as a part of the SPS team. So that's the current membership as it stands right now. Now, where are we at as we move forward? With the people that we currently have hired and are out working, we are fully in charge of Districts 1 and Districts 3 in the city of Surrey. So only SPS members are working on the road in those districts. There are no RCMP members in those districts. The next step, which will be as of July of this year, July 2025, we will be taking over the west side of District 5. So that will then mean, again, the west side will be policed by SPS, and the east side will still be policed by the RCMP. And then in November of this year, 2025, our goal is to take over and will take over the east side of District 5. So by November, at the end of November of 2025, we will have Districts 1, 3, and 5. Moving into 2026, we'll have District 4. So as you can see, we have a lot more hiring to do, which is why we're doing this information session, why the incentives, and why we want to make sure that we get the correct information out and we can answer any questions about anyone that might be interested in joining us in this process. So from there, the other thing I'd like to talk about is current postings. Again, I think sometimes not everyone is aware that we're hiring in all different areas, in many different areas, I should say. So when it comes to constables and detective constables, you can see on the PowerPoint, we have a list of positions that we're still hiring for. So if you see something that interests you beyond frontline that involves any one of those sections, then you will find that on our website. So surreypolice.ca/careers under experienced officers and what the current postings, and you will see those. You can go to any one of those and submit your application directly to one of those positions or to the frontline constable position. And then the one sergeant posting we still have available is in digital forensics unit. So as you can see from this list, those of you who are potentially currently sergeants or above, the time for sergeant's positions is dwindling. We don't know where the future is going in that, but as you can imagine, we have like 551 members currently. So we are starting to draw from our current membership for promotions, internal transfers, and whatnot. But as we move along and those things happen, potentially more positions will come up, but that's still to be determined. So that's the current list of the postings. Again, as we grow and as we add more teams in different sections, there will very likely be some more positions in more proactive roles, prolific offenders, perhaps some surveillance. I don't know for sure. That's beyond my pay grade, but there's some potential there. So keep your eyes open on the website for any positions new positions that might come up. Also follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So you will see those on there as well. So moving forward from there, let's talk about money. I'm sure you've all seen the recent advertisements about our signing bonuses. So I just want to try to clarify a little bit about what it is that we're offering for signing bonuses. These signing bonuses are for frontline constables only. As you can see, the $20,000 signing bonus is eligible for those that are currently working as a police officer with a Canadian police agency, excluding the Surrey Provincial Operations Support Unit, and you can see why next to that. So it's just for other municipal agencies and other RCMP detachment members that are eligible, and they are for those that are going to be hired into the front line as constable positions. So if you fit into those categories and you are hired through our process, you will receive a $20,000 signing bonus on your first paycheck after being hired. We can answer any questions about the details of that, but the main question that people always ask is, well, how long do I need to stay? For that, you need to stay on the front line in GD, patrol, whatever you call it. We call it front line for a minimum of 2 years in order to keep that $20,000. If you leave, resign, quit, are fired before those 2 years, you will be required to give that entire money, $20,000 back. So that's one thing to be aware of. The other thing is you can go for promotion after 1 year. So you have to stay in that position for 2 years. So no lateral transfers within the agency or leaving for 2 years, but you can go for promotion if you're eligible, if you meet the qualifications after 1 year. Same applies to the other side of this, which is the $25,000 signing bonus. And that is specifically for current members of SPOSU. So SPOSU, again, is the Surrey Provincial Operations Support Unit. So RCMP members that are currently working in Surrey that are maybe interested in coming over to SPS, they will and go to the front line as constables. They will receive a $25,000 signing bonus. The other key thing, and same rules apply for duration. The other key part to this is that totally lost my train of thought. You will need to make sure that this is, all right, it'll come back to me. I can't think of the other thing I was going to say, but it'll come back to me, I'm sure. And those are the two main points, is that you need to be in those positions in that front line for GD. All right. I don't see any pressing questions on that at this point, so move on to the next. We also have special unit signing bonuses for two sections or units in particular. So the collision investigation unit, there is a limited number of signing bonuses of $25,000 for anyone that is a level 3 collision analyst or a level 4 collision reconstructionist. So if that's you and you are interested, you are eligible if you're hired into one of those positions for the $25,000 signing bonus. And the other one is the cybercrime investigation unit. So again, if you're an experienced cybercrime investigator and you're interested, you are eventually hired, you will receive a $15,000 signing bonus. Now, the piece that's I knew I would remember, the piece for all of these signing bonuses is that there's a limited number available. So when it comes to any of them, once we've filled the amount that we need, the money is allocated to people that have been hired, that's the end of it. So it's not an ongoing opportunity for any length of time. Once we fill those positions, there will be no more, as far as we know, signing bonuses available. So basically what the goal is to get in this next class, which will be a September class and potentially an October class, to get people hired in the fall to get started and start filling these positions and get working. So it's like I said, a limited time. So if you're interested, to suggest you don't wait too long and miss out. Right. The other piece is the moving allowance. So anyone that's living outside of the Lower Mainland that needs to move in order to come work for SPS, we do offer up to a $10,000 reimbursement for any moving expenses that isn't you're not able to claim on your taxes. So if you go to the CRA website to look up what you can claim, they will list what you cannot claim on CRA, and those are the ones that we will accept if you have the receipts for those, and can put in the claims for that if you are moving to Vancouver in order to work for SPS. All right. Now I will hand it over to Joss to talk about the process.
Thank you, Cindy. So what we've done is we understand that leaving an agency can be stressful, and Cindy touched on this earlier about the loyalty and stuff. So what we've done is we thrive on making sure that everything is confidential. We don't want to out anybody, and we do our best to make sure that you're not outed. But we've created a very seamless process. So the first step is basically go online, go to our website. Under careers, there'll be experienced officers there. Once you click on that, there'll be a jobs posted. Those jobs posted are when you apply directly. We also have a general application process tab there that is a position for, if you don't see that what you're interested in, you can just apply just to the general posting, and then we will look and interview and see what we have available for postings. Once you go online, before you can move forward, you have to upload your ID, photo of your ID, resume, and a cover letter. Once that's uploaded, then you can continue the process. It won't let you look at the questions or the application itself without uploading your resume and cover letter. So you have to do that first. The next step is basically in a behavioral interview, and it's basically an hour. It's very informal. We understand you're experienced officers, and we're just basically trying to get to know you, get a grasp of what experience you have, and then you tell us about you, and then we can clarify any questions. If we need to, we'll ask you some more questions. It's basically giving us an overview of what you've done in your career. Then we'll move over to the background investigation and references checks. So once you've passed the interview process, we'll send you some documents. Those documents will be references, significant other, independence, all that stuff. So more information on you. And then you need to provide some references. So there'll be 6 professional, and 4 personal references. Once we've gone through the background stage, at that point, we create the background investigator, whoever it is, will create a presentation document. This presentation document will be sent forward through the sergeant and up the chain of command. That gets reviewed, and then within sometimes a day, we can, once that presentation document is sent up, we'll get an information back. They'll give us basically tell us, yes, this person is okay to hire, and then we'll give you a call and give you a verbal offer. After the chief constable has reviewed all that, the job offer comes in. So at that point, we give you the verbal offer. Once the verbal offer is done, you accept, we will send you a conditional offer. That conditional offer will outline what positions you've applied for. What we ask is that you review it, make sure all the information is correct. Once you've reviewed it all and you agree to it, you sign it and then send it back to us. And then you're pretty much officially hired. Okay, and then the next one, Cindy.
One sec, I'm just going to jump in.
Sure.
After the conditional offer, sorry, there's a process where it's not till that point that we actually contact your agency directly. So that's the other piece to keeping this all confidential and not trying to keep it from getting out, is that we do have to contact HR and PSS at your home agency to do the official checks, but those won't be done until we've advised you and you've been given a verbal offer. Then you'll receive that conditional offer. Once we receive those responses back from the HR and PSS checks saying there's no issues, then you'll be sent a formal offer. That's the legal and binding document that you will sign off on. And that's when you're considered to be hired, which is then when you can actually give your resignation and give your minimum of 2 weeks notice, which we will always make sure we provide unless there's extenuating circumstances that you've agreed to. We give a minimum of 2 weeks notice. So by that point, when you've received a legal binding job offer to the position that you're applied to, then you can give that resignation notice. All right.
Thanks, Cindy. Thank you I'm just going to touch it. You brought up a good point. So we don't contact anybody, no references, until we've spoken with you. A lot of times when we're doing the background, I'll check with the person and say, hey, are you okay if I start contacting your references? A lot of times they say, you can start my personal references, but please hold off for another day or two until I've spoken to my boss or my sergeant or whoever. And that's not a problem. We do that all the time. And sometimes they ask us, can you just wait? I'll let you know when we're ready to move on with the process, which is fine. So thanks for bringing that up, Cindy. I appreciate it. And the next one. So what we offer as well is, our member wellness initiative is quite robust. So we give 40 hours every calendar year that you can use anytime. Is protected. So against court, against anything, nobody can take those or say no. They can't deny you the wellness leave. So let's say you want to go away, you need a day, wellness leave, it's approved. Nobody can deny it. Sick leave, so you'll get 80 hours on your first day of each subsequent anniversary date. So in each calendar year after you become first class, you get a total of 240 hours each year. Statutory holiday leave is front loaded. So we don't expect you, not to call in sick. We don't, other agencies, if you don't call in sick, you gain your 40 hours throughout the year, your bonus hours. We don't do that. You get your 130 hours stats holiday leave right at the front, and you can take it whenever you want. And as it goes through your 10 hours to your 13 days. So that's provided to you at the beginning of the year. So it's front loaded that you can use throughout the year. Okay, go ahead, Cindy. Supplemental leave. So your 40 hours after you start your 16th year, you'll get your additional 40 hours, and then that'll go up throughout the 5 years, and you'll accumulate more hours of your supplemental leave. So, and then maternity leave, parental leave is 95% covered, top up, and so you're basically for your 52 weeks. So we cover that up. And so you don't have to worry about not being there for your kid or not needing the time that you need off because of financial burdens. That is topped up for you. And so we have extended health benefits for you and your family. So you're fully covered equally. That's paid by SPS. The field trainer's premium. So this was something that I learned not too long ago, actually. I wasn't aware of this. So in SPS, you get a 7.5% of your wage for field training, and that's completely pensionable. So if you're first class constable at a 115, and then you get your 7.5%, you're almost earning as much as a sergeant. So if you're interested in field training, you get recognized for that, because we do understand that it's quite a lot of work, quite a lot of documentation. And so we recognize that, and that's your 7.5%. You get your $1,200 a year for your full plainclothes positions. And our scheduling for your 4 on 4 off is you have 4 days, 4 afternoons, and 4 nights. So for the shifting here, what we've done is we've changed it a little bit. So the shifting is for your afternoon is 12 till midnight. So you get more time at home. The idea is why they went for the shifting like this is you're home more for dinner and you're there for your family. So your nights start at 8:15. So you're there for dinner and then you just go to work, as opposed to starting at 7 or 6 where you don't get to have those nights with the family. And then your shift differential is going to be $1.40 per hour, and it's between 1,800 and 6 in the morning. And so what I've seen is a huge change from when I started in September. Every section is moving and getting developed. We've got some of the best equipment, some of the best training, and some of the best facilities that we're training at. The Picasso where we train is not too far from here. It's about a 5-minute drive down the road. And it is unbelievable what they've got. It's movable walls. They can design any building they want. They have stairs with scaffolding that you can look down and watch the training. It's just state of the art. You can drive cars in there. You can do officer down scenarios. We also are in the process of doing our own POPATs that we have in the facility. It's a very, very large facility that you can drive in there with cars. So they've really done a great job. We just got a brand new gym in there, all new equipment. We also have basically what do they call it, Cindy? The Christian there.
Well, GST, the Grace and Survival Tactics. They've got the mat set up to do the training on the mats full time.
So we've got a huge mat. It's basically caged in. So they're doing really, really great work there. So I was really impressed when I started working here. It didn't look as well when I started here, but they've done a great job of really improving the facilities there.
So just so you know, the key for this is when it comes to training and then when it comes to equipment is Chief Lipinski is a big proponent, a big fan of the best in terms of training and the best of the best in terms of equipment. So if anyone's experienced any challenges with kit, not getting access to workout equipment or having comfortable, proper, state-of-the-art equipment to make your job easier and to be safe, this is the place to be, because that's what they do, and that's what the chief wants, is for us to have the best equipment. And it's not like you have to go out and buy it. You don't have to beg for it. It is just part of being a part of SPS. So it's for someone like myself and others, certainly it's so important to have equipment that is comfortable, that is functional, that is going to work properly. And that's what you're going to get when it comes to SPS. So just a quick note on that for those.
Yeah, a good point, Cindy. I've spoken to lots of patrol members. Stuff's broken. They go down there, give it to the stores there, and they replace it right there, no questions asked. You don't have to write a document. You don't have to do anything. They just exchange it right there, and there's no questions asked, which is great. We also have dry cleaning services here that's fully paid. And something that's really neat is we have actual towel service here. so which I thought was really neat. So you don't have to bring your towel, and you got fresh towels every day. On call is 15 hours of pay per week for investigative sections. So that's really great to have that available as well. Okay, Cindy, up to you.
All right. So the alternate retirement option. Honestly, I think that it can be a little bit complicated. When you understand it, it's not. But there's been a lot of misinformation out there about what exactly this is. So I will do my best to try to explain it. and then take any questions afterwards. But this is something that I took advantage of and many others have. And so here's the deal. You can either join the SPS before you retire, or you can retire from your current agency and start with SPS. Either one of those two ways will be eligible for this. So the key is that once you do retire, you're able to collect your MPP pension. So this is, and I will say this is mainly for BC municipal members, although there are some, it is available on a case by case. I don't know all the details for RCMP members, but there's, as long as you meet the eligibility requirements and you connect with the pension folks, get that clarified. But the key is that you are an active SP, let me start again. So you can retire and then start collecting your pension while you're still working with SPS. You will be, as long as you're in good standing SPS officer, you can continue working as a sworn member, full-time, unionized, no contract. You have all the benefits of a full SPS salary and benefits, and in addition to your pension. So, for example, someone, I'll get into the eligibility. That might make it a little bit clearer here. So if you're currently serving or a recently retired municipal police officer, and again, in order to be considered an eligible experienced officer for any hire, you have to be, if you have retired already, it has to be within 3 years of your retirement. So, and you have to also, in order to take advantage of this, you need to join the SPS prior to December 31st of this year, and then be eligible for an unreduced MPP Group 5 pension by March 31st of 2029. So, and then the final piece is have at least 15 years of contributory MPP Group 5 pension service by the time of your retirement. So essentially, like I said, you could either have already retired from another agency and come here and start collecting both your wage and your pension, or you can come here, and as long as you will come here by December 31st of this year, and as long as you will reach your earliest unreduced or your 80 factor by March 31st of 2029, you will be eligible to fit into this program. And from there, we'll talk about how that works. So if that's you, if you have come here and you have, you then reach your 80 factor, you retire, you're in good standing, then start of the next month, you're starting to collect your pension, and then you're getting your full first-class constable wage in addition to your pension. You maintain your seniority. You don't have to restart anywhere. You're not signing any specific contracts. You're a full unionized SPS member with the ability to promote, to apply to specialty units, other internal opportunities. And then on top of it, you will receive an additional 14.67%, which is the percentage it is right now, the ARO premium, which is in lieu of the SPS contributing to the MPP on your behalf. So again, no contract. This is not contract policing. This is not like any other agency that provides contract policing. You are hired as a regular member. You are collecting your regular wage, and then you're collecting your pension, and then you're collecting also your almost 15% ARO premium in lieu of the SPS making those contributions. So I think the key is that, and I'll just click over to this one as well. The key for a lot of this is you need to do your own homework, right? So you need to make sure if you're a current MPP member, go look up on the website, look up your account, see where you probably already know this, when your 80 factor is. Again, this is for those following in the later years of your career, obviously I'm speaking to, but know when that is. If that 80 factor or that earliest unreduced is you will reach that by March 31st of 2029, and you are hired by SPS before the end of this year, you'll be eligible. So again, you will retire, you'll stop accruing benefits under the MPP, so you don't get those benefits, but you'll stop paying towards the pension, and you will be starting to receive your pension statement, pension checks, as well as your 15%, as well as your whatever you're getting paid as a member of SPS. And again, make sure that if you're an RCMP member, that you may or may not be eligible because every situation is different. The key for you is to make sure you look up, contact your pension service, and also a financial advisor for anybody is key. We are not going to provide you with any financial advice. This is all just how our program works. It's incumbent on you to then go and get that financial advice from anyone that you use for that purpose, and ensure that it works for you prior to making that jump. Joss, anything that I've missed on that you want to add?
Yeah, I know there's been a lot of rumors that, oh, they're gonna fire you within a year or two. That's not the case, because you're not on a contract. Okay, you're an employee. You still have the same benefits. You're still in the union. So I want to dispel any of those rumors going around. There's no catch. It's not like a bait and switch here. We have lots of members that are involved in this ARO program, and they're collecting their pension, and they're making a great wage, and they're doing very well, and they're happy. I just want to make sure that you understand that this is not a scam. And I know it's been said before. I've heard people that say, oh, you're not going to have that when you retire. I'm eligible for the program. I will be in 2028. I will be starting the ARO program. I signed up last year. So it's a great program. They've put it together so that we can get the senior experienced officers in to help us grow this organization. The other piece, though, is that the dates are coming up. So December 31st is when you have to be hired of this year. So if you're interested in that, you have to get your application in, because you will miss that date. We have been able to expedite application processes, but it's all dependent upon how many applications we have. So this date is coming up. So you have to get your paperwork in as well. For the Mounties, the RCMP, we have lots of members here that have done the switch. We have a lot of experience with members that have transferred their pension, or we can always, if you're interested, we can always speak to those people who have done it, who are here, that are ex-RCMP members. We understand the process because we have them in-house here in recruiting. So if there are any questions, let us know and we can clarify that for you.
Yeah, when you get hired, so it's all done through, it's all been vetted through our legal advisor. When you get hired, there's documents that you'll be signing up for the program. It explains how it works, and it's signed off by you, as well as it's a legal document. So this is not something that, like Joss said, that we're putting out there and then all of a sudden this is going to disappear. You will be signing up to be, if you're eligible, you'll be signing up so that if you haven't retired yet and you're just coming over as an experienced officer like anybody else, you're coming, you're getting hired, you're doing your job, and then at some point before March 31st of 2029, you're going to reach that retirement date. That comes along, you do the paperwork you need to do as if you were still at your other agency or your current agency. You put all that paperwork in on time, you submit that, that you officially retire through that process. And then, if, like I said, if you're a member in good standing, you will then continue on like no change after that date, and then you're officially double dipping, as they say. So it's very straightforward, as much as it's kind of convoluted, but it's a program that many are taking advantage of. And like Joss said, municipal members and RCMP members, in terms of, so RCMP members that have come over, they've actually they've retired and maybe collected, taken the buyout, but others have just ported, like, so they're earlier on in their career. They've just ported their pension over from the federal to the municipal, and there is some sort of process that they do to evaluate the comparing it, but essentially it sounds like it's been year for year. So then it just switches over, and now you're in the municipal plan and you carry on from there. So again, it's a fantastic option. Nobody else has offered it. And many people are taking advantage of it, like myself and Joss and many other people. So that's pretty much it for the information that we wanted to provide today in a presentation. But we're hoping that maybe there's some questions that we can answer for folks. At this point, feel free to send in any Q&As to our moderator. They will either answer it or they'll maybe jump on the line here and we will answer them for you, for everybody. So I'll just give it a second here to see if we've got any questions. I hear crickets, so sounding like we don't have any question. Oh, hang on. Steph?
Hi, Cindy. Hi, everyone. We did have a question in the Q&A chat, and I've just published the answer. The question was, are there other pay benefits such as service pay increments or being a constable, passing a sergeant exam? Is there a permanent pay bonus? So what I've done here is we do have service pay increments that happen in your first 5 years of policing. So 5th class, 4th class, 3rd class, 2nd class, 1st class. And then thereafter, the increments happen at 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years. And I've just listed the first class pay along with 10, 15, and 20.
Perfect. Thank you, Steph. And yeah, of course, as you go up, if anyone is eligible and is successful in the promotional process, of course, the pay goes up with each rank. And that information is accessible online to see our rank structure, but fairly consistent, but very, very good pay, service pay for promotional as well. Any other questions? If there aren't any other questions as we're talking here for this event, I'll just put up our contact information. So this is our experienced officer recruiting team that we've got listed here. Feel free to send any one of us an email. If you know one of us and want to chat with them, go ahead and do that. Or whoever you would like to speak to, feel free to send us an email. We can certainly set up an opportunity to talk on the phone, meet in person. We want to be able to answer whatever questions you might have so that you have a fully, make it, whatever decision you make it with all the information. That's the worst thing really, is to not have all the details in order to make obviously a very big decision in your careers if it's something that you want to do. Again, for those of us that have done it already, we have certainly, I can only speak for myself. It has been fantastic. I can say I've spoken to many members, whatever agency they came from, and many have been very pleased with what they've experienced here. No place is perfect. I am not trying to claim that we're perfection in any stretch of the imagination. But what's been really exciting has been to be a part of something, like Joss said, to put your fingerprint on and be a part of something that is so unique, where we're part of the build of something really amazing. And I can honestly say that because we have 28 different agencies represented at SPS, as well as our new recruits. So it's a unique opportunity. It's honestly been very humbling to be, especially in recruiting, where we're meeting all these people from across the country who are coming and considering applying here, or we're interviewing them and learning all about the amazing things that they've done in their current agencies, and that they're actually interested in bringing that experience to SPS, because that's what makes it such a great place, is that we're all in this together. We want to make this a top tier organization, and we are bringing our ideas and we're sitting down together and we're talking about them and we're listening to each other. And we're being listened to when it comes to our ideas. So anyone that comes now, obviously, yes, we are still developing. So we are not in a fully established with all the different opportunities and sections that maybe other agencies have. But if you come and you then join any of those sections, you're going to be part of putting your fingerprint on that build of that section. Have a say in how that's going to look. Know what you liked in your current agency and maybe what you didn't like, and bring that to the table so that we can make this the very best that it can possibly be. We are very much more, I've found, much more flexible and nimble in how we address change. Change isn't easy for any organization, but that's honestly what we're about, is being progressive, being nimble as possible to be able to put out there the very best agency that we possibly can for the city of Surrey. And it's on us as to how we develop that culture as well. as we all know, culture is huge when it comes to how it works for us on a daily basis. Showing up to work when we're tired and we have things going on at home, if we're showing up to a place that is something that feels good and we're in it together and the camaraderie is positive, that makes it so much better. And I know you all know that, but we've experienced that already with some of the challenges we've experienced, and we bonded through that process. And we just want to bring in other people that want to just do their very best and have an input on what this looks like, and be able to look back in the future and say, I was there, I was a part of that, and be really proud of that. And the people and the leaders from the chief down, I can't say enough good things about. Everybody just wants to put the best team forward. And we would love for those of you that haven't yet come over to consider that. Again, this is up to you. It's your career. Make sure you do your homework, get your questions answered, because it's ultimately what's best for you. That's all we're saying. Do what's best for you. It might be SPS, it might not be, but we're here to give you the information and let you know what we offer, and so you can make your best decision. And on that note, I'll leave it unless we have any other questions from the moderator or Joss wants to add anything.
I just think one of the things that I've recently found out is that we have SPS is doing something a bit different, and they're talking about wellness, and it's impressive because I just found out last week that we actually have in-house psychologist that supports the wellness team, as well as a peer support team that we just had a course that. So we're up at 40 peer support members, and our wellness section is still growing, and we've actually have an in-house psychologist, which I've never heard of before. And I think it's invaluable for members to have that ability to have the support when they need it. So when large events or traumatic events that members have gone through, they've got the support to deal with that. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody realizes how much SPS is putting into support of the members, so that they have a long and great career, and they don't have to deal with anything alone. So
yeah, so important. Thank you, Joss, for that. So yeah, and again, unless there's any other questions, check out, take a screenshot or whatever you'd like of our contact information. We'd be happy to talk to anybody. If you've decided that you do want to apply, please go to our website and go through the process of downloading those documents that Joss was talking about earlier. If you find that specific posting that you are interested in, just pick one, put your application in there. Once your application is in, again, nothing's written in stone. If something changes, you change your mind, you decide that it's maybe a different section is better or what have you. It's just about getting your application in so that we can start that discussion. We can meet you, we can see your resume. And even, again, like Joss said, even if there isn't something that's currently posted and that you're not interested in frontline at the moment, go to that general constable posting and submit your information. And then one of us will reach out to you and we'll have a chat about what it is that you're looking for, because it's very fluid, right? There's lots of things that are happening and changing behind the scenes that aren't posted now, that may be posted in the future. And unless we know unless we've contacted you, unless we've got your name in the queue, we don't know, right? So once your name is in the queue in some format, again, it's kept confidential. Then it's easier for the executive to sort of decide what's next, because we've got this list of people that have shown interest, has the requisite skills, and they've actually put their application in, and we can decide, okay, we have some people here, maybe there's an option to open up this posting, and then we'd slide you into that posting because you're already in the system. So again, this is only for currently experienced officers, which I'm assuming all of you are, that came into this. If you're not and you were just signed up because you're interested, I'm happy to let you know about the information. But of course, if you're somebody that's interested as a new recruit, it's a different process, and you would go to our website under new recruit or recruit opportunities to see the process there, which is also a big part of our building process, which is getting new recruits, which has been fantastic, and going quickly, and filling seats quickly. So again, don't miss out if you're interested. This is kind of one of those things, and I don't mean to sound like a used car salesperson, but it's not something that's going to be around for long when it comes to the signing bonuses. Obviously, any positions that were previously available at rank are dwindling. So as we build, these opportunities will become less, but there's still lots to be had, especially obviously as constable. And frontline, from what I'm hearing, I won't pretend to be a frontline member, although I'm hoping to get onto the bikes to do some shifts on the bikes for events and things like that. But frontline people that are out there, I've got friends that are out there, they're enjoying it. It's got its ups and downs, but it's headed in the right direction, and the shifting is one of those reasons for it. It was well researched. It was chosen by the frontline members. And it's another piece that of what makes SPS so great is that we've listened to our members and we're trying our best to do what works best for them and their families. So I will end with that. Again, thank you all very much for your time. Please feel free to reach out to us, and we're looking forward to seeing your applications or at least your inquiries. Thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, folks.